Hi, it's Tansel here again. Now, I just got off another coaching session, and the topic came up about reading. And the issue around reading is that a lot of people just don't finish reading books or articles or getting to, complete what they set out to read. And, if you're one of those people, then I've got something that might work for you, right? So, generally, what happens when we pick up something and read, we don't have an intention, right? And if our intention is just to pick up and read a book, that's what's going to happen. Doesn't mean you're going to end up finishing it, right? So here's a cool little trick. If you want to finish a book, set your intention of finishing that book, right? So if you have, say, a 200-page book, then what you can do is you can say, okay, it might take me 2 weeks to finish this book, right? You'll generally know how long it takes you to finish something, right? So you say, okay, it's going to finish, in 2 weeks, right? If I read it, maybe 20 minutes, half an hour a day for 2 weeks, it'll be finished. So you do a little calculation. Now, once you've done your calculation, then you go about setting yourself that task of reading half an hour every day. Now, it may not be the half an hour. You might do 15 minutes in the morning and then maybe 15 minutes in the afternoon, but you stick to that schedule, right? Because what you're trying to do is create a project around finishing that book. You're creating a project. Now, once you create that project, now you've got a goal, a deadline in mind, right? If you've got a deadline, then you'll most likely stick to it because the brain loves to finish things, right? Now, if you pick up a book, there is no deadline, right? You've got no deadline. Your intention is just to pick up and read, which you're achieving successfully. And now, like I said, doesn't mean you're going to finish it. But if you set yourself the goal and the task and you create a project around it to read that book, be guaranteed to read it. Now, what I do, and I mentioned in my previous videos as well, is that I read about 3 books a week. And the reason for that is, I've got more time now because of the pandemic, but I go for walks, right, every single day. And I listen to audiobooks, right? Now, because I'm listening to audiobooks for about an hour on double speed, now every time I go out to walk, that 1 hour of reading has become 2 hours of reading. Now, if I go twice a day, that's 4 hours of reading a day. And generally, the books I read go for about 6, 7 hours. So in 2 days, I've finished a book, right? Which is insane. Now, do I remember a lot of that stuff? I do because of the memory techniques that I actually use, but I don't actively use the memory techniques as I read, right? I visualize more than anything else. So don't worry about knowing memory techniques for the moment. Just worry about visualizing what you read because that's what's going to motivate you even more to finish something. So give that a go. Just a little, tip on finishing a book because, there's a lot of people out there that I do come across that do come to me for coaching and say, look, I just want to be able to finish a book or a number of books. And some people are professionals and they have to read for a living. Right, they have to read for a living, and they've got knowledge they have to acquire. So, how do you get this in a short space of time? How do you get it when you're under pressure? So, you have to set yourself the tasks and the goals to be able to do that. Otherwise, you can't. I can't just go to this shelf behind me and say I'm just going to, quickly read this book. I can do that, but I'm not going to finish it, right? But if I set myself the intention first to finish, then I can work backwards from there. Right? So starting with the end in mind, start with, I'm going to finish it and then you'll get there. Even if just making that intention, even if you're mindful of that, I can guarantee you that you'll get closer to your goal than anything else. Yeah. So there is a stat out there that I read in one of the books. It was a book on photo reading by Paul Shields. So really interesting strategy. And he talks about how most people, I think it's about 80% of people, don't read past chapter 2 in a book. Now, that's insane when you think about it, right? You're reading and putting all that effort in and you're not getting past chapter 2. So if you, maybe set yourself a goal of going past chapter 2 if you're reading. And what will happen is you'll start to really, get into the zone. You're zoning into the content now. Right? You're getting warmed up. As soon as you're warmed up, you want more of it. It's like watching a TV show. The more and more you get into it, the more entertaining it becomes, right? So I'm sure you've got your own favorite TV shows or books that you enjoy reading. So, give yourself that challenge, right? Set tasks, goals around those tasks to finish. Give yourself a timing, that works for you. It doesn't have to be 1 hour or half an hour. It could be 20 minutes, 10 minutes, doesn't matter. As long as you do it regularly, that's the most important thing. You know, regularity, simplicity. Make it easy for yourself, right, to read. Don't make it difficult. Because if you make it difficult, you'll tire out and it'll drain a lot more energy. And once that energy is drained, you're not going to want to be able to do it, right? So make it easy for yourself. Set the tasks and goals and give it a good crack. And if you fail, you fail. Who cares? Just try again, maybe with smaller numbers. But at the end of the day, it's up to you to be able to do it. Just give that a crack and let me know how you go, because it's always great hearing about how these things work for people as well. I mean, with the clients that I've got, I can see them directly and, know what's working and what's not working. But for people out there watching, again, I don't know what's going to be working for you and whatnot. So feel free to comment on this video. And, if you're out there wanting help, please reach out. I'm more than happy to help people as well. And I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.